Alright guys, today we're going to go over Kianne, Dean of Substance. So, Kianne is a 2/2 elf druid and has two abilities. The first one's a tap ability where you're going to tap it, exile the top card of your library. If it's a land, it goes into your hand. Otherwise, it stays in exile and you put a study counter on it. Now, with the second ability, you're going to pay 5. You don't need a tap, so you can do this as much as you want, but you're going to make a 0/0 fractal with a +1/+1 counter equal to the number of exiled cards that you have with study counters on it that are different mana costs. So you get more stuff with study counters on it, you're going to get bigger fractals. My immediate thought is to make a deck around fractals, some top deck manipulation, and also some untap, because I want to untap the commander, but I also don't want to make it a pod deck. We'll see where I take it. Let's get to the deck tech. So it was interesting making this deck and playtesting it. Once I realized that once you tap it down, you can just continuously make the fractals, it started to feel kind of like a pod deck, but also mixed with like an experience counters deck. You'll see. We just made this deck for the Dean of Substance. I went with a theme of, first I took all the fractals, threw them in there, then I had some stuff that benefited from having a lot of tokens, then I had some untapped stuff, and then I had some like general just some good stuff. So we'll start off with the creatures. I have Twin Master, and they're going to double up all my tokens. This guy's going to make the second ability cost less. This is in here because of the fractals. This is in here because then I can see the top of my library, and if it's a land, I can play it. Like basically that first ability, depending on if I want a land or not. With this card, I can see the top of my library, so that way I can decide whether or not I want to use it. More fractals, just a cheap mana door. This, because that's fractal in the name, and also because just the ability is nuts. This card's good because it basically has a landfall trigger to proliferate, which means you can put another counter of any existing counter on a permanent you can control. So if you have fractals with counters on them, put a counter on all of them. All my stuff that have counters on it are blockable. This guy's just a house. It has counters on him. Untap your stuff. Your lands are going to be entering the battlefield and getting more mana to then like cast that second ability. Fractals. Just more counters. This is a cool tech card. Since they're +1/+1 counters, all your guys are going to be the same power and toughness, so this gives them all trample. Something you can cast from exile, untap your commander. Second ability lets you give Shroud to something that has a +1/+1 counter on it. More land ramp, and it fits with the theme of the set. It's just a pet card I have, then just a house. Untaps your commander during other people's upkeeps. Another house, something to ramp, and also just another house to win you the game. And secondary. And this is the secondary commander. Just something that's gonna draw you a lot of cards, ramp you with crazy enchantments. I thought this would be fun. Doubling seasons, double up just everything about fractals. Paradox Zone because of fractals. Parallel Lives because doubling up your fractals. Ristic Study because it's a Dean and it's Ristic Study. Same with Sylvan Library. Also top deck manipulation. Training Grounds to make that second ability cost less. Lands, we just have some like utility or just basic Simic mana fixing. It's to protect. Nothing super special in here. Sorceries, fractals, ramping, fractals, ramping, fractals, ramping, fractals. So theme there. Fractals, Nissa I like because then I can put a counter on all my creatures. Arcane Denial is a feel-good counter spell. Untap my commander. Brainstorm because I felt like that was some good top deck manipulation and also on theme. Burst of Strength, untap my commander. Fact or Fiction kind of fits with the theme of science trees and all that. Growth style ramp, nature's claim, because it deals a lot with like nature and science and all that. You got more fractals, more sciencey stuff, double all your fractals, and then you got mana rock, more fractals. Got fractals, protection, but also haste. You can do that tap ability right away. Top deck manipulation, more fractals, mana fixing, ramp, and there you go. Let's go into the gameplay. So, playtest version 1. Alrighty. Let's put this up here. Got our lands, cultivate. I'll keep this. So turn 1, crack a Misty, get a forest, or no, get a his land. Get his land, draw my we'll just play a forest. Let's say elaborate activation, something scary. Probably wouldn't do that because we probably wouldn't want to give someone a 33 on turn 2, but let's just say for sake of using resources, we're going to cultivate, grabbing. Do anything. Next turn, we're going to just try it. Exile top card, it's a land, so it goes to my hand. Lands, and 1, 2, 3, 4, roll parallel lives. Next turn. Alright, we're gonna try and go again. Get brainstorm. And then put 2 fractals. Isn't even a fractal yet. So pretend these are fractals. So yeah, and then like next turn, basically just keep rinsing and repeating. We already have a 1/1 here, so it kind of feels like experience counters in a way. Because as that ticks up, then later when you cast her and then activate that ability, it's gonna be bringing in as big of guys that you've already been bringing in, because these are just gonna sit here with counters on them. It's kind of like experience counters in a way. It's really interesting. Alright, if you guys like this, then let me know.